Hello everyone, you're watching Business Africa. My name is Asha Sapist and welcome to our new edition dedicated to the continent's business and economic news. This week, innovation of African business leaders, whether they work in textiles or startups, is in the spotlight. And like every fortnight, you can win $150 in our Business Africa game. More details later, but first, today's top stories. Ancestral know-how fallen into disuse finds a dynamic succession. A Beninese designer brings indigo loincloth back to life.
The indigo currently in vogue was made in record time. It takes its place entirely.
Almost 100 new startups created thanks to the Ghana Innovation Hub, a growing ecosystem in the country.
Here in the Ghana Innovation Hub, we have a shelf where we showcase the products of our entrepreneurs. So all these products you see here are samples of what they do, and in a way of helping them, we advertise it for them.
Spotlight on Angola, a country recovering from the civil war thanks to its inhabitants, but also to nature.
Precisamos de conservar os animais, conservar a floresta, conservar peixe, sabendo qual é o uso que é mais importante para nós conservar esse território.
We opened this new edition with a beautiful color, indigo, and a forgotten clothing tradition. In the world of African textiles dominated by wax, a Beninese designer is bringing up-to-date and ancestral know-how. Nadia Adanle, that's her name, brings the indigo loincloth back to life thanks to new dyeing and drawing techniques. The result, fabrics and designs that are all the rage in stores across the country and exemplify the promotion of local consumption. This is a report by Didier Asogba.
Nadia Adanle has dusted off and brought back to life the indigo-colored loincloth commonly called Iluvor in Ouida. Ouida is located 42 kilometers from Cotonou, the economic capital of Benin. Most of the indigo loincloths in Cotonou's most expensive sewing workshops and fashion boutiques come from there.
Indigo is one of the fabrics we knew in our childhood. And as I grew up, I realized that this textile was disappearing from our field of vision. And I thought, instead of letting it die, why not work on revitalizing this loincloth? Today we have brought indigo into the Ghana evening wardrobe. We have successfully brought indigo into the outfits you can wear to an international conference. We have brought indigo into the range of outfits artists, singers can proudly wear.
A real breakthrough for the promoter. Her struggle, which began in 2017, has finally found an echo among the biggest fashion houses in Cotonou. In any case, for the time being, the indigo loincloth is the clothing trend of the moment.
The indigo currently in vogue was made in record time. It takes its place entirely. When I see customers coming into my shop looking for an African piece, looking for the African style, asking what do you have, as soon as you present them with indigo, they say yes, that's interesting. Yes, that could do it for my event. More and more consumers have started to make a difference and are coming back to materials created entirely in Africa.
The indigo loincloth fashion house produces about 2,000 yards per month, tanks ranging from 2,000 to 6,000 liters to satisfy the high and growing demand. Iluvor is gaining more and more ground in the field of clothing style.
Comment je peux dire ça? Ça a été comme une
How can I say this? It was like a revelation. My sister came one day and told me I would like to buy something from you. Can you offer an alternative, anything other than loincloths? I thought, why not indigo? So we bought some fabric and tried out some patterns. And so we started working on indigo, and I really saw the impact it had on the customers.
Nadia has the largest tank in the West African sub-region. The indigo loincloth fashion house employs over 20 Beninese women.
I wear the indigo loincloth with pride. I often say that each loincloth I wear means that more than a dozen people have worked behind it. Thanks to my purchase, I'm supporting many people, so I'm really proud to wear the indigo loincloth.
To support the promotion of this loincloth, many members of the Beninese government dressed with loincloth indigo.
What I am wearing, for example, is a collection in the color Indigo 2021. And our minister and members of the cabinet do not hesitate to wear indigo on different occasions. It's very nice. It has become very chic to wear indigo. The government has always supported it, even in an institutional way. We have been by her side when she organizes events, and we have upcoming projects together. We have plans with Nadia for 2023.
In recent years in West Africa, many initiatives have emerged to promote local consumption. These initiatives aim to curb the very high dependence on African countries on imported products, the volume of which is expected to increase by 2025 to nearly $110 billion, according to the African Development Bank. One of the solutions proposed by the experts is to exempt textile manufacturers for a certain time from customs duties and taxes on imports of production equipment and accessories that are not found in African countries.
Several African leaders, including Kenyan President William Ruto and Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, have called on the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and the international lenders to provide debt relief measures. The leaders who spoke before the United Nations General Assembly called for better consideration of the conditions of successive shocks suffered by the continent since the COVID crisis.
I call upon global financial institutions and the international community to take urgent measures and release all existing financial instruments to provide much-needed additional liquidity and secure better fiscal space for developing countries like Kenya.
William Ruto, President of Kenya, and remember that Kenya has a stock of debt of more than $70 billion, or 68% of gross domestic product, a level considered quite alarming by the international financial community. And as economic hardship intensifies, watch out for tantalizing job opportunities in Southeast Asia. 22 Kenyans, a Ugandan and a national from Burundi have just been rescued in Laos after being lured there by false job offers, kidnapped and then forced to work in the cybercrime industry. They confirmed to investigators that hundreds of Africans were being held by criminal gangs in Laos, Burma or Cambodia. In Ghana, many new entrepreneurs lack the skills to run a business and operate in a competitive environment. As in many developing countries, the gap is clearly identified. It is the deficit of advanced skills, access to capital and technology that is lacking. To remedy this, the government of Ghana relies on startup incubators, and they are popular with entrepreneurs. Our journalists George Ibu Sake and John Awotwi visited one of them, the Ghana Innovation Hub. Take a look.
With the establishment of the new support services firm, the Ghana Innovation Hub, Ghana's authorities are helping entrepreneurs like Folasade Rufai of Dawa Foods make their businesses more competitive, not just in the local market, but internationally too.
At the time when I applied for the program, I did not have any properly structured financial management in place for my business. And as I speak now, I have been assisted through the program to have a better bookkeeping and financial management structure for my business. I've also been able to meet friends here who have introduced me to people who can stock my products.
The Ghana Innovation Hub was established by Ghana's Ministry of Communication with funding from the World Bank. Since its creation in 2019, the centre has engaged with over 2,000 youth groups with entrepreneurship training programs. As a result, about 90 new companies are being trained or are at various stages of development.
We have three main partners in the implementation. So I myself work for MDF West Africa, but we also partner with GCTU and Blue Space Africa. So it's a consortium of three organizations that's managing this space and also running the programs here.
The companies enjoying GIH's support vary from agro-processing, packaging, to technology-based industries and firms offering innovative solutions. The centre provides workspaces for businesses, conference rooms for training, and workshops and meeting rooms for planning, networking and engagement. The hub also has space to showcase the products of trainees for marketing and promotional purposes.
Here in the Ghana Innovation Hub, we have a shelf where we showcase the products of our entrepreneurs. So all these products you see here are samples of what they do, and in a way of helping them, we advertise it for them. When someone walks in, they can get their contacts from here, then call them to make their purchases.
Centres like the Ghana Innovation Hub are essential to reducing youth unemployment in Ghana by teaching young entrepreneurs and innovators to navigate the business world through skills development and resource assistance. The Innovation Hub is helping youth to economically support themselves through entrepreneurship and business development while reducing the pressure on the government to provide public sector jobs for its youth.
Two companies that were in that first cohort, one is processing egg into dried egg powder, which is used for pharmaceuticals. And they've now grown to a stage where they're also doing other products and other poultry products. And they are now in the Orange Corners acceleration program. So they have grown their business to a level that they need support in formalizing their financing, their financial management, but also their sales and distribution. So that is one example. Another example is Tropical Growers, who is also, it was in that same cohort of Innovate GH. They are doing lettuce and herbs with aquaponics. So hydroponics, it's a water-based growing system. You don't need soil.
With the appropriate level of investment and resources from the government and other development partners, the centre has the potential to give many more young entrepreneurs the needed assistance to bring their innovative ideas and visions to contribute towards Ghana's industrialization drive.
Welcome to the second part of our show. The European Parliament voted last week in favour of a regulation requiring companies to ensure that products sold in the European Union do not come from deforested or degraded land. The decision that targets agribusiness excesses has been welcomed by environmentalists, but is still a concern for Africa. Among the concerned items we find wood, palm oil and cocoa. Several African producing countries fear a negative effect on exports. Uganda is rising to one of the most touristic destinations on the continent and is targeting Africans themselves. 75% of the country's visitors are indeed African tourists attracted by the nightlife of the capital Kampala, the fauna of the mountain gorillas, or flora and nature with more than 160 lakes. Neighbouring Kenya, which provides the bulk of this armada of tourists, has just sent a delegation of 2 operators to Kampala to further increase these flows. The presidents of Tanzania and Mozambique have signed agreements to protect their common borders from terrorist threats. The agreements cover peace, security, military cooperation, as well as strengthening trade and investment ties. Mozambican President Felipe Nyusi said the terrorist insurgency in the north of the country had weakened since the arrival of armed forces from several African states. And it is precisely time to turn to a country that has triumphed over the effects of war, a civil war more precisely, which left in its wake thousands of dead and maimed. The country now wants to take advantage of the peace, but also of the economic and social impact of the revival. We had been exploring this quest for a different way of life, which also involves a closer alliance with nature. Take a look.
fui raptada em 1998 no lugar do minha camisa e eu fiquei na comuna do Yuva a fazer travessia do rio Quando, fazendo transbordo de material para o tempo da UNITA, para procurar a vida, não te matar. Como não conseguia levar na cabeça, então me incluíram no grupo que faz transbordo da canoa. Então ali é o motivo que me faz para mim fazer esse trabalho. É só para salvar a vida e conseguir sobreviver.
Angola is a beautiful country, but it's got a savage history. 500 years of colonial rule followed by war, either independence struggle from the Portuguese or also, the civil war itself, which to begin with was a huge conventional conflict between two big conventional forces, then falling off into a guerrilla type conflict, almost like a resistance type struggle. So that leaves a legacy. There's a lot of explosive items in the ground.
The peace in Angola since 2002 has lasted. I am a South African and we fought the Angolan bush war against the Angolan government. With that as the backdrop, the landmines, the fact that the government didn't know who was living in that part of Angola exactly, whether they were dangerous or armed. And we found this incredibly peaceful community, the Chokwe and Luchazi, people that accepted us and guided us down their own rivers, down the Kwandu, the Quito, the Kwanafal. These incredible adventures we had with these people. Yes, the peace is held in Angola. Every year, people lose their lives to mines in Angola. So that is a definite threat.
Na verdade, é um orgulho. Eu pessoalmente também me orgulho de ter sido parte desse contributo de minagem ou do acabamento ou do termo das minas em Angola. É um trabalho, na verdade, muito importante para qualquer país ou para qualquer sociedade, porque as minas, na verdade, impedem o desenvolvimento de um país. O trabalho não terminou em termos de desminagem. Na verdade, ainda existem outras áreas, outros campos para serem desminados, né? Mas num espaço de 3 anos, este é o desafio que nós temos de terminar com os campos que ainda existem.
Yeah, so between the beginning of April last year and the end of March this year, we've cleared over 3,000 mines and over 1 million square meters.
Precisamos de conservar os animais, conservar a floresta, conservar peixe, sabendo qual o uso que é mais importante para nós conservar esse território. Então, também para nós conseguirmos se dar bem com os animais, de agora até adiante. Então, essa coisa, eu acho que outras coisas que não estou a me lembrar, coisa que eu vejo mais importante.
The future of conservation in Africa is local. That's people like Elias and the Luchazi that live around the sources in Angola. They are our guides, companions up in those landscapes. They've shown us all of the source lakes, the peatlands, helped us find all of the new species. 122 new species to science we've found with those local communities.
De antes os animais aqui era demasiado, mas os elefantes, os leões, onças, zebras também aqui, rinos. Aqui estava bastantes.
The wildlife of southeast Angola is traumatized. All of the animals are still there, but at very low numbers. A lot of them are night adapted, so you only really see them at night in our camera traps and never in person. They're almost like ghosts. They are coming back. The last 18 years of peace have seen some of the populations bounce back. Also in the last 18 years we've seen lots of local people coming back that were displaced during the war.
Gostei muito de estudar a vida das aves, assim como os pássaros, ou como vamos falar, como os animais terrestres e os animais aquáticos, vendo que como ele vive a vida dele. Eu gostaria muito de ter a sabedoria do que cada um dos animais ou cada dos seres viventes que necessita, o que é mais necessário na vida dele, o que necessita para ser feliz na vida dele. Eu gostaria de estudar essas coisas como a base da minha cabeça.
By 2030, we hope that in partnership with government and local communities that we've been able to make investments of tens of millions of dollars into those communities living around the source lakes, up in the water tower in the Angolan highlands, investing in community cooperatives and associations to support alternative livelihoods and sustainable traditional livelihoods.
Já descobrimos que no rio não pode se lavar com sabão muito porque danifica peixe, danifica os animais aquáticos. Já nos explicaram que a floresta não se usa assim. Muitas coisas que nós estamos a aprender mais com a vossa exploração.
Rivers are wonderful metaphors for that, crossing these borders and becoming them. We need to break down those barriers and realize peace in Africa.
Well, it's now time to reward our loyal viewers of Business Africa. It's up to you to answer to the following questions. If you're drawn among those who have given the correct answers, you will win $150. This is game number 586, so listen carefully to the 2 questions that follow and good luck. First question, what does Nadia Adanle produce? Wax, indigo loincloths, dresses. Second question, when was the Ghana Innovation Hub created? 2005, 2019, 2021. You know the answers. You can participate now by going to our website africaonair.com in the replay section. Answer the questions, fill out your form, and good luck. And don't forget to include your contact details, name, address, telephone, email, and the answers, of course. Check out the terms and conditions in the replay section on our news website, africaonair.com. The winner will receive $150 as our winner this week. Congratulations, you gave the correct answers to our previous game. Here are the details. First question, where do Eco-Gabon solar panels come from? Answer, Asia. Second question, what does the startup Gura Ride rent out? Answer, bikes. Well, that's it. Business Africa is over for today. I'll see you next week, same time, same channel. For Initiative Africa, I will host Nora Gite, the coordinator of VIA, the Global Education Program for Road Safety at the Michelin Corporate Foundation. In the meantime, you can watch this show again on our news website, africaonair.com, and follow us on all our social media channels. Feel free to share, like, and comment using the hashtag BusinessAfrica. Take care of yourselves and see you next week. Goodbye.